Good morning, everyone, and a very happy Wednesday. I went live just a few seconds before I was actually ready, and I'm just adjusting the camera. Happy Wednesday. How'd you guys go yesterday identifying for yourselves what happy means to you? I'd be interested to know if you took some time to think about that and what you came up with. Now, just before we go any further, I just want to acknowledge the very 80s Bon Jovi hair that I'm sporting this morning. I've just come out of the shower, needed the hair wash, wasn't planning it, and I've got the 80s Bon Jovi thing going on. You like that? It's a little bit tedious and frustrating because it's all fluffy. Anyway, I will attempt to proceed without my hair disturbing me. There we go. So what I want to talk about, I'm an idiot sometimes. Seriously, do you guys watch me sometimes and go, really? Who is this person? Because I've got to tell you, sometimes I do. So, how do you even get happy? How do you get happy? So what I actually want to acknowledge at this point is that I'm well aware that there are a lot of people out there who are still in a very dark place in their lives, or are working themselves through what was a very dark place in their lives. And for some people, just the idea of being happy is completely alien. You know, I've been there. I suffered depression a lot from a very young age, before I even knew what depression was. Right until, seriously, if I had to put parameters around this, I started feeling what would be defined as depression these days from about third class onwards, second or third class onwards, through till about 27, 28. Now, I'm not saying I was depressed the whole time, but there was a lot of very dark moments throughout that time in my life. So, when I talk about getting happy, I'm speaking from experience. I'm speaking from a place where I've had to dig myself out of the trenches several times. So I know what it's like. And that's why I want to acknowledge, for anyone who's watching this, that I am well aware of those dark places. I'm very well aware of how hard it can be to pick yourself up out of those situations. So we're going to proceed with an aspect of, for those people that are in that dark place or trying to work through that dark place, how to start coming out of that. But also for those, for those of you who really are quite well established in yourself, but you know that there's that something a little bit more, there's that something that's kind of a little bit elusive. What I'm going to speak about today, I really hope it speaks to any level that you might currently be sitting at. Okay? So, how do you get happy? How do you bring happy back into your life? So I thought about this for quite a bit. And first of all, you got to remember what happy feels like. You got to remind your body what it is that you're aiming for. You got to remind your mind what happy feels like. So for starters, find something. Spend some time looking around and identifying things that actually give you a bit of a fizz and a bit of a bubble inside versus things that make your stomach clench into knots. So when you look at something or when you do something and you feel that tiny little fizz, that tiny little buzz of bubbles inside, that's the beginning of happy. That's the beginning of remembering what it's like to feel happy. And once you ignite that, you can then go and find more of it. So, when you're looking for happy, sometimes that can be really hard. Really, really. And I get that. I understand that. So, if you can't even for yourselves find something to make you happy, start looking at the things that are stopping you from being happy. So if you are doing something in your life, or you have something in your life that when you look at it, it doesn't fill you with bubbles. If you look at something and it makes your stomach clench and it makes your guts sort of, tie up in knots, then that's probably something that's working completely against being happy. So when you're trying to find happy and you're really finding it quite elusive, start with what makes you not happy. Start with what's familiar. What makes you not happy? And you start removing those things, or you distance yourself from those things that are the opposite of what you want to achieve. So, to give you an example of that, when I was 27 and I was institutionalized, and I came out of that period of my life saying, well, I've got to change. I've got to change my life. I don't even know where to start. And it was quite simply and quite literally, I'm not kidding you on this, every situation that presented itself to me, I kind of went, does that make me happy or not? Is that something I want back in my life? Because don't forget, this was a rebuild for me. And if it was something that I acknowledged, no one else told me what I should welcome back into my life or not. When I acknowledged it was something I didn't want, I acknowledged that I would no longer accept that in my life. And I spent 2 or 3 years doing that. So situations that presented themselves, it was a process of, do I want it or do I not want it? And if I didn't want it, I turned away from it. Now, in that turning away, it doesn't welcome that aspect into your life. Okay? In that turning away, you're making room and turning towards something that you do want. So when I say, look at what stops you from being happy, that's what I'm talking about. Look at the situations that you find yourself in. Look at the, you know what? It's even down to the people that you associate with. This is pretty difficult. But if you have people around you that are constantly negative, or if you have people around you that are constantly putting you down, do you want that kind of person in your life? If you don't, then don't accept it. Not an easy process, but a fairly integral process in welcoming happiness back into your life. Another smaller aspect of that is in your everyday life. What are you tolerating? What are you tolerating in your life that is taking away from you feeling content or happy or settled or whatever it is that you define as being happy? Look at those things. Some people refer to these things as like energy leaks or time wasters. Basically, I just look at it as these are things you're tolerating. You're putting up with a behavior pattern, or you're putting up with something that you have to do. And I'm looking around the room now because I'm trying to find examples of it. And in this room, I don't have any of that. This is almost like my little sacred space, This is Everything in this room is exactly how it needs to be. But that was a process of elimination. That was welcome things into this room that resonated with what I wanted to achieve, and not bring things in that didn't resonate with who I wanted to be and what I wanted this room to be for me, for Andre, for our life. So what are you tolerating? There's another thing to think about. When you're trying to welcome back happiness into your life, what are you tolerating that is sucking the happiness out of your life? What are you spending time on that you really, really, really shouldn't be worrying about? Is it a quick fix? Can you do something about it? Or is it something that you need to get someone else to help you with? Or is it, something that, mate, I'm a classic for, yeah, I'll fix it. Something breaks, yeah, I'll fix it, because that comes from my dad. He never threw anything out. I'll fix it. And then I end up with a pile of things that need fixing. And then I look at them, a couple of months later, because they're still sitting there a couple of months later, and you go, really, do I even need this? I'm sitting here going, yeah, I've got to fix it. And it's playing on my mind. And then I go, actually, don't really need it. That's how we remove energetic blocks. You keep parking things in a particular place. You go, yeah, I'll deal with it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. I'll fix it. And then one day you have this pile of stuff and you go, wow, I've just never actually got around to fixing that. How about I just get rid of it? And there you go. There's the beginning of removing an energetic block. Another really, really, really key thing on how to bring happiness back into your life. I almost need a drum roll for this, because to my mind, it is so important. It is so important. Stop comparing yourself to anyone else. Just stop. The minute you start comparing yourself, whether it be physically, intellectually, in business, in your life, in your relationships, the minute you compare what you have to what someone else has, and you find yourself lacking by comparison, you just shut yourself down. You just shut yourself down. You put yourself down. You insulted yourself. Really? Do you put up with other people insulting you? Well, I don't anymore. Maybe some people do. I don't anymore. Do you put up with people insulting you? Then why on earth do you insult yourself? By making comparisons that often are not like for like comparisons. It's never a like for like comparison. There is no other person walking the planet just like you. So how can you possibly compare yourself, your successes, your life, your relationship to anything else? All you've got to work with is you. Yet you're trying to bring someone else into the picture and go by their guidelines instead of your own. So stop comparing yourself. All that does is it gets you stuck. You get stuck. You get stuck in accusations against yourself, potentially against others. Oh, that's not nice. That's really not nice. It gets you stuck in regret. Oh, I should have done this, and then I would have had what that person has. Well, you didn't do that. You based any decisions on, hopefully, what you wanted for an outcome that you expected. I keep saying these things, and to me, it all just makes so much sense. It really does. It just makes so much sense. And I just don't believe that we need to beat ourselves up. Everything is a process. Everything. And if you work through those things, you're going to come out the other side with really valuable information, really valuable growth, really valuable tools for yourself in your life moving forward. You don't beat yourself up. Because given the chance, there's 1,000 other people out there that are willing to beat you up. Given the chance. You give them the chance, they'll do it. I don't welcome people like that in my life anymore. I just don't. Really. Simple as that. So, when you're trying to get happy and you're finding that difficult to find something that makes you happy because you're resonating at a point where you can't even feel happy, then look at the things that are stopping happiness in your life. Look at what you are tolerating. Look at the energy leaks in your life. Look at the time wasters. Look at the comparisons that you have put on yourself for your life versus someone else's life. Look at all of those things and start eliminating them. Once you eliminate those things, it opens up space. It opens up space. Seriously, it opens up space in your energy. It opens up space in your body. It opens up space in your life. And opening up space means you have room to move. It means you have room to grow. It means you have room to welcome whatever you want back into your life. None of us was born miserable. None of us was born depressed. These are things that we picked up along the way. You know, those bricks that got handed to us, those bricks that potentially could have been the foundation of your life lessons given to you by those that love you. And then you get to a certain point in life and you go, actually, I need to assess myself, what my life lessons are. The little pebbles of hurt that you've thrown on top of that same pile. All of these things. Just start looking at them. You know, okay, so this morning I was working on a document that I send to clients before we start working together. And I had to change a big chunk of it because talking about my programs. And I realised, not for the first time, but it was the first time I sort of actually put it out there and put it on paper, put it in writing. I don't think I ever will offer a stock standard solution to anyone for any problem. Because there's no such thing. There's no stock standard answer. There's no stock standard solution. It's about you. And you are an individual. And that's how I view you. That's how I view myself. And that's, to me, one of the most important things that you can do for yourself as well. Recognize that you are an individual. You have the opportunity to make choices in your life. You have the opportunity to write the rules for your life, the way you want your life to go. You have the chance to leave the baggage behind. You really do. And once you take that opportunity and you let go of anything that doesn't resonate with what you want, it all just starts flowing to you. What you want just starts flowing to you because you've made the room for it. It's great. I love it. I do. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, just on a final note, once you do, or you can do it in conjunction with getting rid of the negative, is look at the things that do make you happy. As I said when we started, look at the things that when you're walking around or when you're doing them actually give you that fizzy, bubbly feeling inside. And you know what? Do more of that. Do a lot more of that. Whatever that is. Do lots more of it. Because that's going to remind your body, that's going to remind your energy of what you want to focus on. So, I hope that's helped a few of you. I don't want you to stop focusing on what happy means to you. Because here's the thing, is that as you change, as you develop, as you grow, so do your definitions on things. So do your definitions of what success is, what happiness is, it morphs, it changes, it grows with you. And that's a fantastic, that's a freaking amazing organic process. And allow it to happen. You know, don't get stuck on one single idea, because as you grow, as you develop, your ideas change. And so they should. You're dealing with a new person. Every time you incorporate a change in your life, something in you, something in your energy, something in your body shifts. So you're not dealing with the same person every day. Woohoo! Fresh start every day. It's pretty cool. Have a fabulous, fabulous Wednesday. And a reminder, tomorrow is Thrash It Out Thursday. If you hear anything today that really pumps your energy, post it in the group tomorrow. I think we might focus on songs that make you happy. That might be pretty cool. Have a fabulous day, everyone. Mwah! So much love to you all. And I will see you in the morning. Bye.